We have with us Dr. Sheenu Jawar, who is the president of the host chapter, which is TiE Rajasthan. And we'd like to hear a few words from you as the host of this grand global summit, first time in a non-metro city, ma'am.
Hello, everybody. How's it been going so far? So while we wait for Murali to be here, and he's caught up in some sessions and some meetings, you'll have to bear with me. It's my pleasure to have all of you here. You can see that I've been working hard because my throat is already half gone. For today, we have these sessions lined up as per the updated website. We also have the lounges where you can network with fellow charter members, Platinum Pass holders. We have the Dubai Internet City, and we floated the form for meetings, just 4 slots of 8 members each. And lo and behold, we have 50 people already lined up for today's slot. And we're trying to accommodate everyone because this is the value that you should take from this summit. We have the Formidian lounge, we have the state lounges, Maharashtra, MP, Rajasthan, of course. Please do go have a look when you can, meet with the officials there, see if you want to take your investment, not just within the state, but also outside with the other state partners. We also have master classes, which are going to begin from 2:30 onwards. We had some updates on the website, but due to certain unavoidable reasons, those timings have now changed. We're trying to accommodate the flight schedules of our masterclass trainers, of our speakers, and such things happen. We also have the booths here. We have the Comic-Con Festival going on. We have the hackathon, where about 200 to 300 children are already participating and putting their mind to finding the solutions for the problems which plague us all. And we definitely need this new generation to come up with innovative ideas, and that's exactly what's happening here. We have the Game Jam. We have the TiE University TiE Women Finals. Very proud to announce that one of the semi-finalists is the winner from the chapter of TiE Rajasthan. So extremely proud for that. But also, everybody that participates is a winner, irrespective of whether they get chosen or not. The TGS 100 pitches are happening as we speak, and the investors are there. That's a lot of cheer towards the backstage. We also have the AI lounge. Please do go and visit all of these places, find your fit, and get the best value out of this summit. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sheenu. And I think this summit is going to be full of so many amazing dialogues. And a major part of that comes from the quality of visitors that we have here. So we have seen, we have heard a lot of powerful thoughts from the stage. We were here for the inauguration ceremony also. I'm sure many of us were here for the inauguration ceremony. And we've heard so many different leaders from different walks of life. I'd like to also hear from our visitors. What are our visitors having in mind? Who are you? Can you please come and tell us that what background are you coming from? What idea? Are you pitching an idea here? आप कोई idea pitch करने आए हैं? आप कोई idea सोचने आए हैं? आपने अभी तक जो सुना, उसमें आपको क्या exciting लगा? और उसमें से कौन सी opportunity आपको लगता है कि बहुत helpful होने वाली है? Why not just come up and talk to us a little bit? Can I see some hands? I can see 2 friends sitting there. I think कुछ interesting discussions are happening there. And I can catch the smile of the lady there. Hi, can you come and talk to us? Yes, okay. Hello. Hello, welcome to the Rajasthan DigiFest. Were you here yesterday as well?
Yes, I was, yes.
Yes, please tell us about you. Tell us what brings you here, and are you from Jaipur or some other city?
I'm not from Jaipur, I'm from Gurgaon. but we are Rajputs, so let's go Jaipur. I'm here as a startup. Our startup is a driver-on-demand platform. So we're trying to reduce drinking and driving accidents in Delhi NCR. So
You know what? I would also love to know your name, by the way. You've already gone directly into your pitch, which is amazing. I love the preparation here. Can I get your name, please?
yes, it's Ayush Rajawat.
Okay, Ayush, I would like you to face the camera. And yes, we also have your friend or your co-founder.
She's a friend.
All right, so we have the friend already taking our video there. We'll be debuting in the reel, I guess. Okay, so Ayush, please tell us about your startup and how the idea came to you.
So drinking and driving is a real big problem in Delhi NCR, and we thought of a way to solve that. So we give you drivers to take you home when you've driven to a bar or a club. A driver comes, picks you up, takes you home. He's a very well-trained driver, taught defensive driving. We've tied up with Maruti Suzuki training schools, so they're very well-trained. And they take you home. We're only set up offline right now. We are going online very soon, and we look forward to everybody here using our service once in their life.
And how did you decide the name? I'm sure names are one of the most interesting aspects, right? So, जैसे नामकरण होता है हमारा खुद का, हमारे business का नामकरण is also like naming our own baby. How did that happen?
So there's no big story, but it's called Chauffeur. So chauffeur it. We don't want to give you just a driver. We want to give you a chauffeur and experience. So chauffeur it, chauffeur it.
All right. Thank you so much, Ayush. Thanks for sharing your idea. And best wishes. We already have claps, and we have next founder ready with us. Hello. Please share your name. Which city are you coming from all the way? What brings you here? How did you get to know about Rajasthan DigiFest? And also tell us about your idea.
Oh, my name is Rhea. I am one of the founders and chief product officer at Lucidus. I came here to participate in TiE, which has been fantastic, and have met a bunch of interesting people. So it's really fun to be part of DigiFest as well. Our startup is called Lucidus. Imagine buying a car without ever going for a test drive. It sounds wrong, but sometimes, we actually allow students to commit to careers without ever experiencing them. And that is a crisis, because most students end up with regretting their choice or hating the careers that they are in, which means that India's workforce is underutilized or misutilized. And that is why we've created Lucidus, which is an experiential career guidance platform where students actually get to try different careers through gamified simulations. So they get experience before they've even graduated high school so that they can make better decisions.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And the name of your idea is?
It's Lucidus AI.
Lucidus AI. Thank you so much. Wonderful hearing both ideas, Lucidus AI, Shofit, and I'm sure there are so many more ideas buzzing around, because that is what this summit and this fest is all about. We are now going to hear more on the topic of MSMEs as growth engines and the state's role. The host for this session is going to be Shri Murali Bukkapatnam, Chairman, Global Board of Trustee, TiE. I would also like to invite our speakers on stage. Chairman, AP, Andhra Pradesh MSME Development Corporation, Shri TiE Sivasankara Rao, and IAS Principal Secretary, Industries Department, Government of Maharashtra, Dr. P. Anbalagan. I request our speakers and hosts to kindly join us on stage for the next session. Dr. P. Anbalagan, IAS Principal Secretary, Industries Department, Government of Maharashtra. Chairman, Andhra Pradesh MSME Development Corporation, Shri TiE Sivasankara Rao. And our host, Shri Murali Bukkapatnam, sir. I request our host to also kindly welcome both our speakers with the memento of the Rajasthan DigiFest and TiE Global Summit. I would request our visitors who are attending the sessions to take the front row seats first, to kindly occupy the front row seats first so that we look a little more unified. Can I please request the ones sitting towards the back, scattered, to please come in the frontal rows? So we can look a little more consolidated. Thank you. MSMEs are indeed the backbone of development. They're the backbone of employment. They are what reach every single area. They reach beyond the metros. They reach beyond tier 2 and even tier 3 cities. And let's now discuss the state's role in the growth of MSMEs. Over to our host and speaker.
Swati, sorry I didn't thank you yesterday also. Thank you very much for the wonderful emceeing you've been doing since yesterday afternoon. I must appreciate it, and you've been quite good at compiling and short forming everything. Really appreciate it, Swati.
Murali sir, I noticed it during your address as well. I think you are one of those personalities who goes around empowering every single person around him. I saw you how you mentioned every member of TiE, how you mentioned every person on the team, and we really appreciate that leadership. Thank you.
No, thank you, Swati. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Sorry, my apologies to both my panelists. We were doing our TiE Women program finalists, and we were giving away the awards, and got delayed between in the logistics aspect of it. Just to take the context from there, I just want to let all of you all know that this is our 6th edition of TiE Women, and we have more than 10,000 women entrepreneurs as part of the women community to empowering entrepreneurs. I have 2 of my reverend, I would say mentors, Kanwal, actually 3 of them, Harish Mehta, AJ and Kanwal, who've been the pillars and the co-founders of this great organization called TiE, right? So it is a 33-year-old organization. We have empowered more than, I guess, $1 trillion of economy. We are in 68 chapters in 17 countries, creating this tremendous value, and it is the thought process which came from Harish Bhai. I think this is in NASSCOM days, you brought TiE to India, and it has become a force to reckon with in Indian subcontinent. And it is Kanwal and AJ who have championed TiE across all the borders, right? So with that particular context, sir, I want to go with you first because I'm from Andhra Pradesh. I need to be a little partial to my state. I come from a very small town called Hindupur, right? Next to Bangalore, right? So when you come from such a small space, right, where the SMEs, not even MSMEs, right, where the aluminium or the iron aspects, smelters and all that stuff, what is that government from a policy point of view are going to do? Before that, I would want you to give like at least 5 minutes of your own background, your own journey, how you became the chairman of the AP MSME. I think that itself is a story, right? I'm sure you also come from a very smaller town. So please, if I may have that privilege.
Thank you, Murali Bukkapatnam. And respected Dr. P. Anbalagan, IAS, Honorable Principal Secretary of the Industries Department, Maharashtra. I am very much thankful to the TiE organization inviting me to be part of this program. As Mr. Murali asked me about my background and my journey, entering into the politics and becoming a chairman of this Andhra Pradesh MSME Development Corporation. I worked as a 28 years in a GST department, and I happened to be Group 1 topper in Andhra Pradesh Public Service Commission, and became bureaucrat in administration. So once my beloved leader, Mr. Pawan Kalyan Garu, established Janasena Party, he invited me to be part of his journey, and I left the service of 6 years and joined my journey with him, my Janasena Party beloved Pawan Kalyan Garu. So last time, you know very well that NDA alliance was formed in Andhra Pradesh, and with a historical remark, it came to the power under the visionary leadership of our beloved Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji, as well as our visionary leader of the Andhra Pradesh ever produced Mr. Nara Chandrababu Naidu ji, and the most dynamic and historical leader Andhra Pradesh has given birth to none other than Mr. Pawan Kalyan ji, an actor turned into the politician with a lot of passion to do the service to the society. And after that, after the Kota Alliance came into the power, though they made me a chairman of this AP MSME Development Corporation. So since then, I have been working a lot, because since I have got a background of bureaucracy, as well as I worked in a taxation department, I am closely connected with the industrialists and manufacturers, business people, and service sector people. So the government might have thought that he is the right choice for this post. So since then, I am working as a chairman of the APMSC Development Corporation.
Thank you, Sivasankara Garu. Really appreciate it, and I think I have a lot more questions to come. I want to go to Dr. Anbalagan. So you come from a most industrious state, right, Maharashtra. And many of the states would want to emulate the state policies, or how did Maharashtra become so successful in creating the wealth for the country, right? I mean, even if you look at from a GDP per capita point of view, overall, Maharashtra ranks on the probably in the top 3 in the country, right? Can you please shed some light on how the MSMEs are becoming the backbone of that wealth creation?
Thank you, Murali. Thank you, Sivasankara Garu. Namaskar, Jaipur, and thanks for making us part of this great and illustrious event. If you look at MSME, or even like a larger, medium, or even a bigger projects, first criteria is, like I would say, enabling environment.
Right.
This enabling environment has like 3 components. One is the best policy, which covers like end to end. Second is, like I would say, the industrial infrastructure, which also enables them. Third will be the governing structure and institutional framework. These 3 are like very pillar for a governance perspective. Though the third and first is like probably the state has a lot to do, but the second, industrial infra, now the lot of private players also there. Second, if you look at typically for MSME, because you need to have like a merchant, because Maharashtra being traditionally a manufacturing power. So if you look at like almost 1/6 of the entire country's output comes from the state. So you have a lot of OEMs like. So automatically this entire OEM, then their tier 1, tier 2 vendors, support bases, then it percolates down to the micro, medium enterprises. If you look at here, main crucial component for MSME, if you look at like the states, almost we have close to around 6.5 crore MSME in the country, and Maharashtra has close to 90 lakhs, almost 14%, and Maharashtra will add another 10 lakhs in another 5 years. So Maharashtra will reach by 2030, will have almost 10 million, 1 crore MSMEs. The credit linkage and market access, and particularly with AI and other smart manufacturing, future proofing, how we are going to be globally competitive. Like when compared to like a smaller MSME in Taiwan or probably in Japan or probably in Thailand or Indonesia, Vietnam, how like Indian subcontinent, be it in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, TN, or maybe of course our state Maharashtra, how our MSMEs are going to be globally competitive. Because if you look at China, a lot of like public funding is there, but if you look at our country, it's like hardly like 5 to probably a 10% is the public spending, and rest of the entire thing has to come from the private capital. So the credit linkage to MSME at a regular, I would say the reasonable rate. If you look at the interest rate and the debt servicing period, they are like quite squeezing. So obviously the state and of course the entire credit institutions have a larger role to play. If you look at the countries are arm twisting us, that really want to like, really want to have our MSMEs globally competitive, then of course government has to chip in very well, and we should be making them really future ready with all the technology enabled that go for a smart manufacturing. Because MSME have a very, very big multiplier effect. For example, if you go for any bigger projects, for example, somebody is investing 10,000 crore, probably you will get hardly 1,000 to 1,500 as a direct employment. If you go for a garment, apparel, footwear, leather, non-leather footwear, and apparel and accessories, garment and case, probably if anybody understands apparel, essential, which are inner garment, if you have a one line, probably you will spend only 2 crore. Out of that, 50-60% comes from almost every state has its capital subsidy for. You produce almost 100 people.
So basically,
so that is what multiplier effect is going to be there, and with probably like almost 60 to 70% of the population in the working age group, and with AI and other things are going to have a transition disruptive things. This mid-scale, mid-level thing, they are particularly the MSMEs are going to play a major role, particularly to absorb the labor force during the transition.
No, Dr. Anbalagan, you said it very, very important about the MSMEs playing a very, very crucial role. And in fact, we are signing an MOU with the AP government on the how do we enable this MSME. So which is what I wanted to talk with you. So the reason I want to ask is, Kanwal wrote a very big article on the GST structure on how India and what the Indian policy makers has to do. In your view, and especially given your GST experience, how is the current GST tax structure, and is that helping the MSMEs to go to what Dr. Anbalagan said? Is it go to the next level from a capital market access governance point of view, or is it hindering the progress of these MSMEs?
Definitely, sir. Tax is it is an inevitable friend to any entrepreneur or manufacturer. So here, recently, whatever the government of India has taken certain steps reducing the GST rates, it is a very good encouragement to this MSME sector. Low rates on certain, reducing rate of tax on certain commodities definitely will boost the MSME sector, industries, manufacturers. But what you asked, the GST structure, but I personally feel, being a earlier GST additional commissioner as a worker, what I feel that complexity in this taxation structure, that is either in slabs or proceduralities, I mean to say that. Right. You see, MSME, micro and small entrepreneur, initially he should get some motivation and inspiration from all corners of the organizations. That is from the government or tax structure or any financial institutions, everything. But here what happens in the GST tax structure, complexity, while compliance to the tax department, number of formats have been designed because since Mr. Dr. P. Anbalagan is here, because he is the principal secretary at the helm of affairs of the government of Maharashtra. It is my personal feeling that GSTR 1, 2, 2B, 3 returns, and also a bunch of notifications are coming. So tax structure should be a static for the particular fiscal year.
Correct.
So in between, there are so many notifications are coming. Whether I feel that being an entrepreneur of MSME, whether I have to learn the GST structure or whether I have to do my manufacturing activity or do my business, this will be a little bit of difficult task for the MSME sector.
No, sir, so I'm going to follow up on the question which Dr. Anbalagan has mentioned and what you have mentioned. So he was mentioning about the GST policies to be a static structure, but I know that it is a center subject and not a state subject, right? Can you piggyback on that and answer that question? And the second thing which I want you to answer is, I always believe that Indian MSMEs has to have the Italian design and the German engineering for the global connect to take it to the global linkages, right? If truly our potential of the Indian MSMEs have to be unlocked. So I want you to address on those two issues. How do we do that global connect and the static versus the multiple notifications which Sir just mentioned?
Thank you, Murali. See, just GST is like tip of the iceberg. When like GOA has come up with a deregulation and first set of I would say the ease of doing business one, then it was extended to the district level. Then ultimately we look at, for example, if you look at simple pollution control board format, it shows 13 to 14 pages, but for a green category industry, hardly they will fill a one page. But they have to fill nil in all the 13 pages, and it's all computerized. And for everything, probably a guy sitting in, for example, in Chandrapur, the server in Mumbai takes that processing as a nil. So it's like just not GST. Of course, continuity and this surety of whatever structures, whatever process need to be defined, and there cannot be a knee-jerk like changes. Just not necessarily for tax formats in any procedural thing. If you really look at like ease of doing business, that's a pre-establishment, pre-commencement and post-commencement. So pre-establishment is a pain, then again you have a pre-commencement is another, then you have thousands of compliances. For example, if we say 100 companies are being set up in Telangana, Andhra, Maharashtra, TiE, Gujarat, or maybe UP, Rajasthan, hardly 5 to 7% have any pollution potential or anything. But still you insist for all the formats. So it really, we need to think of a very, very pervasive and disruptive way in ease of doing business, which GOI is seizure of the matter, and government of like Maharashtra also has taken almost, we have done more than 450 plus reforms, and we are also going to come up with 100 plus such disruptive reforms. For example, for MSMEs, I would say, if anything non-polluting, it doesn't require any environmental clearance, we should allow them to build and get a permission within 2 to 3 years. So we should move beyond like government to governance, and in fact, we move beyond that also to trust-based governance. Then if you remove them from all these regular dilly-dallying of these probably procedural formalities, which every bureaucrat is happy to love with, like Sivasankara Rao is also ex-bureaucrat, but that really need to be pushed from like GOI, and every state has to push. This is one thing I would like to say. Secondly, again, I pitch on the credit thing, and basically, particularly for MSME, when we look at this TRED scheme or maybe a credit guarantee scheme, the TRED scheme, when it was brought, like anybody who is having 100 crore turnover will have to make the payment to MSME in a whatever like a discounting method. But now MSME classification is changed. So even with the 500 crore thing, you are like treating 500 crore turnover, it's being treated as like medium. Then we have to redevise threats. Basically, then we should go for a micro or nano units, where the smaller units payment needs to be done. And Government of Maharashtra has set up probably on I would say the similar lines to the Government of India, the credit guarantee support. We have a minimum to begin with 200, 300 crore budget. Probably we will add on up to the 1,000 crore so that like their bills are paid in time. So obviously, third is like your technology. When you compare, like probably the design lacking, probably just we only do a generic or probably a contract manufacturing. So we should move beyond that. So that's what I said, future proofing, bring in technology. So this is more of like, I would say, making our companies ready for the future, which the government of Maharashtra has set up 1,000 crore fund for that. And it's like sky is the limit, from R&D to bring in an innovation, product development, market access, and also to exhibit your markets overseas. So all to be like tied up, because these companies are smaller companies, may not be able to exhibit there. And secondly, the state has like close 7 to 8 venture capital funds, like PE funds, I would say, like 500 crore each. So all the states should have at least, I would say, minimum 5,000 crore venture capital, so that you also support them. You also support them.
Dr. Anbalagan, so thank you for that. And in fact, some of the words which you just said is the most important, and I think it is a nectar to my ears, right? And it will come to my next question, because that would help the regional economic empowerment of the local tier 2 and tier 3, tier 4 towns. Because when you go down from the 500 crore MSME, this thing, to a 50 crore, 5 crore, 1 crore kind of a SME segment, and that is where the local economic activity will happen. So now, with the new government in place in the state of Andhra Pradesh, and trying to improve multiple clusters in the state of Andhra Pradesh, how is the regional economic empowerment happening in the state of Andhra Pradesh, and is that a model which we can replicate across the other states in the country? Can you please share your thoughts on that?
Yes, it is very good question you posed, sir. This cluster development program in any state, particularly in Andhra Pradesh, because Andhra Pradesh is an agro-based country and having a different backward regions such as Rayalaseema and Uttarandhra. Now,
I am from Rayalaseema.
Yeah.
So
I am from Uttarandhra.
two backward states sitting next to each other.
Yeah. So what happens, what I feel that this policy, MSME policy, is an antidote for all regional development issues. Say, for example, earlier only there was a focus in certain places. Now in Andhra Pradesh, it was a scattered clusters. Say, for example, if you take Kurnool, there was aerospace cluster was established. And if you take Visakhapatnam, that is taking on this drugs manufacturing cluster was there already existing. And if you like that, it was catered to various regional development. And since Andhra Pradesh is having a very large sea coast, shipbuilding clusters were also established.
I think you will be competing with Gujarat in that case.
Yeah.
So
We may compete in future, because our visionary chief minister, he is gearing up MSME policy like anything, because one man, one family, one entrepreneurship. It is a game changer as far as AP MSME policy is concerned. Because to that an extent also, we are establishing 175 MSME parks in each and every constituency.
wow.
That is the biggest.
So, Doctor, Sivasankara Rao, from there I want to ask, so he is going to compete with you from a Maharashtra point of view. So when you have a one person, one family, one entrepreneur, you have multiple clusters coming in neighboring states, right? But Bombay, you have Solapur, you have Nasik, you have Aurangabad, right? So what is your take on what Sivasankara Rao just mentioned? And we have probably a 1 minute left. So
Globe is huge. Andhra is my sister. So absolutely happy with that. She is growing, we also grow. And Globe is a big market. So we compete not with Andhra, we compete with like probably Taiwan, Thailand, probably Vietnam and Cambodia and Indonesia.
Thank you, sir.
So this is what I want to make. Secondly, two things I want to make in clusters, and also how you, I would say, exponentially add MSMEs. So, Murali, if I seek your attention, the state government of Maharashtra has come up with a program called Chief Minister's Employment Generation Program. It's predominantly a self-employment program. It was started with a very, very nascent stage. Like we used to do like 10,000 MSMEs in a year. But another 5 years, I said 10 lakh we are going to add. Another 5 years, we will be adding 5 lakh units only through government intervention. That's going to be highly disruptive. Secondly, when you look at clusters, there are like organically strong clusters where the scalability is much more exponential than the new nation clusters. So build upon the organic thing first. Like if you say Visakhapatnam, like you have a Rajiv Gandhi Pharma Tech. If you have some, like for example, Nashik, you have an aerospace, you have like a culture. If you have an, probably Pune is like an entire auto cluster. Another thing, electronic manufacturing cluster. If you look at Nagpur is growing as a defense and aerospace cluster. Build upon that, but that will not suffice. So we have come up with a concept called emerging districts. So there are 12 districts which have a high potential, but they are not there. So there you artificially bring in an ecosystem. Like we will be supporting like close to almost 150% of the capital in these districts, 12 districts, for a minimum 25 projects. So you, in 5 years, you total, for example, Nandurbar, it's a tribal district. So we could attract 5,000 crore investment in 7 months. Like Gadchiroli Steel City, we could attract almost 3 lakh crore. So like that, you should take particularly tier 2, tier 3 is like long gone. You should go to tier 4 and tier 5. The mid-scale, particularly food processing, apparel, leathers, footwear, these can be easily scaled within a 1 month or 2 months. So we should take up these clusters to that. We have our 160 clusters of like government of India scheme, where you have a common manufacturing. So
No, Dr. Anbalagan, thank you. I mean, I think I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I wanted to say that what you said is India and the globe is a huge market, and we are going to compete with Taiwan, Taiwans of the world, not the neighboring states. And I think that is how the vision of Vikasit Bharat is going to be fulfilled when all the states come together and make India as a destination to compete with the global forces. So I wish both of you the very best in your respective journeys to make sure that both the states prosper and all the states in India prosper and create millions of jobs. And I would want to request the exchange of MOU. Can I have Rajesh, Ravi onto the stage? Kalyan, can you come onto the stage, please? We'll have the exchange of MOUs between the Andhra Pradesh government and the TiE Hyderabad and TiE Vizag. Shinu, you may want to join on the stage, please. I think you and I have a separate meeting later on. I think that Amit was around 50 years. Come, please. Ravi is our incoming vice president. Kalyan is the president of TiE Vizag.
I like fighting together.
Rajesh is the 2 days back president of Hyderabad.
We would really like to thank our host, Shri Murali sir, our speakers, Shri T. Sivasankara Rao ji, and Dr. P. Anbalagan for sharing their thoughts and letting us know such diverse information on the topic of MSMEs' role as driving agents of development and how the state role can also be improved and looked into, from best tax practices to the global connect to one of our speakers also recommending 1,000 crore venture capital funding by the state.